Scrapbookers and creative friends. I'm Linda Petuch. I'm a Creative Memories Independent Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts, and my thoughts today are one of the ways that I plan my borders and my pages, and that is by using sometimes punches, sometimes stickers, sometimes just cutters, but I use the positive and negative space to complement and create designs. That's what I want to share with you today. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's take a look at some of my ways of thinking, and hopefully it's something that you can implement as well to help you with your scrapbooking journey. So one of the first things you learn when you're working with the Border Maker cartridge is that some of the cartridges create what's called a chain, and that falls off the paper and makes a design that way. Some of them make an edge on the paper, and that is like this one we call crown. And you can see I punched it and it has an edge on the paper, and the advantage of that is you can cut it as thin or as thick as you want it to be, depending on if you're making a border or just edging your paper. But what I want to talk about here with the positive and negative space, you can see the design that's created in the empty part, the negative part. The positive would be the part that's on the paper that's left here. That's the positive part. The negative is the design that negative is at these spaces here, and it creates a design under there. Now these are kind of positive too, and you could actually, if you punch different colors, you could go back and fill them in, glue them back in here and so forth if you wanted to change it, but that takes away that negative space. So what we're going to talk about is using even some of these pieces, but looking at the negative and the positive space and how they create designs. I want to start with two borders that I made using that same punch, the crown punch. Now on this one, this zigzag paper here with the little like V's on it, this designer paper, this is the punched. It's the punch section like this. Okay, it's like this that you see here in the pink. This is the punched, but look at the design in the negative area. That's the same as the little designs that you see here. So it's creating that design by placing it on the paper. And then I added a sticker here so that it would mimic the oval part of the rounded part of the punch, but I put it in the opposite direction. On this one, instead of using the punched piece, I used the confetti, meaning the pieces that came out. And then what I did was I used the repositionable tape, and I just lined them up here, glued them all the way down in a row, and then to unify them and make sure we didn't have any edges showing, I put a sticker here. And then on this one, I used the same sticker, but instead of putting it in the opposite, I put it to mimic that rounded section from the confetti that I put on here. So these would be the positive, and now it makes this negative the opposite over here. Pretty cool when you look at it. I love playing with these designs. It's a lot of fun. Now I want to show you the zebra stripe punch because this is an example of how your negative space really creates the design. Because this, all I did was punch the two edges on the 12-inch 12 by 12 piece of paper, but look at how beautiful that design is. The design is created by the negative space that you see, the color you see coming through. So that can change. But another way to play with that negative space is if you cut off the edges, it makes it like a fringe. And this wasn't a full 12 by 12 piece of paper. I just wanted to show you that you can cut off the edge, and then you have a negative space that kind of bleeds out into the rest of it, okay, and leaves it a little bit open and has a totally different look just by trimming off that edge. It looks like a rug with fringe on it to me, but just another way to look at it. Let me show you some more borders. So this first one is not with a punch. This one, I just used the Totally Tonal paper, two pieces of paper, and I used the Totally Tonal stickers. The reason I chose diamonds is because of the negative space that you see on this patterned paper. It creates a diamond. So to bring that all together, unify the colors, then I added the diamond stickers to go on here, the sticker strip to go on here. That's what I was thinking. That's the way I was thinking. I used stickers on this one too, because I saw them and I thought with that little bit of purple there, I used the decal trimmer to trim these pages, and look at that, even makes a different design, a negative space okay, out here. That makes a different design, but look at how beautifully that color comes through. Use that negative space to also make it part of the design. Very simple to do, but very effective. This one, I used the decorative trimmer, and I cut the deco blade on the 12-inch trimmer. I cut the edge, but you can see that when I trimmed off that first piece, I decided to use it in the design. So I put down the piece that I cut on the swell, and then the piece that I had cut off, I decided to put that on there, but I left a space, and then it creates this beautiful design in here, again, using that negative space to create our design. And then you can have this to use on a 2-page spread any way you like, because the direction really doesn't matter. You can use it however you wish. And that's a nice thing about creating these overall designs, is that they are much more usable in all different situations. Just add a touch of color. Okay, this has the ruffle trim border maker cartridge, and then this was a sticker from the Totally Tonal. It's a little tricky. I had to use my multi-purpose tool to punch out all those inside, but I wanted to mimic the circular negative space that was coming through. So that's how I did that on here. This is the cable weave border maker cartridge. That's the only punch I did on this. Again, I used that Totally Tonal papers and put that on there. And I just love that diagonal negative space that makes the design along here. Here are some more borders. This is that rainbow arch. I think it's rainbow arch. I know it's a rainbow. Rainbow chain. Yes, it's a rainbow chain. And I put that on there, and then added the Totally Tonal stickers just to kind of ground it a little bit. But it makes a really pretty design. I just love the negative space coming through. And my last little border I want to show you has our double fan design. I love the double fan because you can think about how different it would look if you, number one, punched the fan with a different color and had another color coming through. Imagine this, black and red, or blue and purple, or whatever. But it's just wonderful, because then you see this beautiful fan design comes through the negative space, and it looks really nice on that striped paper. It all ties in together. The fans that I punch with the same paper as this, for, just to have it go together for coordination on there. So that is that. And again, these are flexible to be used however you wish, whatever spacing works for you, because there's no up or down, no directionality to these, really. All right, now I think we should take a look at some pages. I really enjoyed making these pages. You'll see a lot of the same designs over and over, because for the base paper, because it was Totally Tonal that I used primarily for all of these projects. But you'll see this is the crown, that crown punch once again, and I used the 2 positive shapes, but then I cut one thinner over here and face them with each other. You can sometimes get that effect. Some of our border maker cartridges, you can fold the paper and get a double punch, but this is not one you can do that with. It falls apart. I tried it. So instead, I punched them separately, and then had they kind of just kiss each other there. All right, there's one. I did another page with these with that crown design. This one, I just kind of lost control. I went a little bit crazy. I added made it a little bit wider on this one. There are both purples from the pack, different designs, subtle designs. Then I love this wispy chain so much that I wanted to pick up on the base page here. So I did the wispy chain. These are stickers from the Totally Tonal. And then I made that little peanut or bean design there in the middle from the crown. Here is our, here's that ruffled trim once again. The diamond, I'm going to not remember the name. It's the diamond zigzag. I should remember that. Diamond zigzag. And what I liked about this is that it had, both of these punches had designs coming through. All right, so here we do have like diamond design coming through, but then also this ruffle trim has a little circular design. So I added a sticker here, and then I decided to put some dots to just kind of mimic the whole dot thing going on there, and to unify it, all those pretty shades of blue. All right, here's our banner punch. Remember, the banner punch came out recently, and instead of just leaving it as it was, I decided to weave, weave a piece of green paper through there, also dark green sticker, just to try to unify that so that we could, so I could have all that on there together, get the blues and the greens together. And again, my pages are just like my borders. They're pretty flexible for how you orient them. It's pretty easy to switch them around. Okay, I love this. This was not a border maker cartridge. This was this beautiful iron gate. It's called Iron Gate. And when I saw that, I was planning this, I thought, oh my goodness, I have to do that, because look at that gorgeous design that comes through the paper, through the opening, the negative space there that comes through from the base paper. I just think it's so pretty. And then I add the sticker because it seemed like it needed just a little bit of something on there. And we have kind of a diamondy thing going on here, so I chose these little diamonds. Once again, this could be used in this orientation, or it could also be vertical, depending on what my pictures are going to be. So I went again with the stage kind of idea. This is Border Maker. These are both Border Maker cartridges. This one is the diamond scroll chain. Very pretty. So I cut that twice for here and here. And then I did the Sunshine Arches. That's the name of it. I can't find the cartridge right this second. But this, oh, here it is. Yeah, Sunshine Arches. I decided it needed a little something there. So it almost looks, that almost looks to me like the proscenium stage. There it is. And again, this is heavy at the top, but if you could orient it this way as well. Depends what makes you happy. Okay, these two I love also. These are both border punches, standalone border punches. This is the River Waves. This one is River Waves, and this one is called Beaded Ovals. When I saw those two, I thought, oh my goodness, I really, really want to make that. Look how beautiful the design is that comes through, the negative space design that comes through. That's what I was focusing on. So these just really make me happy. You know, it's almost because they're busy designs, but they're confined within a space, so it's kind of relaxing to look at that. It frames your pictures. This one, Ancient Key. Ancient Key, I think, is my all-time favorite Border Maker cartridge. I love that. And then here, you see I use this one a lot. Because I love the crown, the space that you get, the negative space. And sometimes when I look at this one, I can't tell if the yellow's on top or the purple's on top, because it plays with your eyes. That's a positive negative thing. I love it. Okay. On this one, I used I always want to say it's a bridge. It's not a bridge. It is Scallop Wave. The Scallop Wave, and I chose it again because it had that extra little negative space opening in there, which I thought would be a really nice thing. And then, of course, we've got negative space on the edges. And because it was kind of a swirly, twirly thing, I used the decorative trimmer and added a couple strips of yellow on there with our bubbly, watery paper. And the last one that I have for you, I actually ended up adding the photo mats, but I used a couple different trimmers on this, or cartridges on this. This is the cable chain. So I used this base paper. This is the flip side of it. I don't know if I can, I kind of glued it down, so I don't know if I can tell you. This is the flip side. Okay, so I folded up the base about 1.5 inches, and I folded this down about a quarter of an inch, and that made a stage for my 3 photo mats here. And then I decided that I wanted to add, do a little trio of punches up here. So I did the cable chain in the middle in this same paper, and then I did the other 2. Here it is. There it is. It is called Mirrored Scallop Chain. It's very hard to remember all these names. That's why I labeled them. So the mirror scallop chain, and I did that on with the diamond pattern, and then I did this one with the flip side pattern to unify it all. I already have a title or journaling box, or circle, not a box, a little circle up there ready to go for 3 pictures. And again, this looks like intentional to be here, but it could be flipped in any way. And as I said, that is the beauty of making these designs that they're generic, they're designs with color and punches, but not necessarily a theme. So it's something that you might want to think about doing, especially if you're trying to scrapbook ahead or to plan ahead for your books. Thank you so much for exploring these punch designs or sticker designs with me, with negative and positive space. I hope that was something that you can use or can think about. And I just really barely touched the surface, because whatever punches you have and Boilermaker cartridges you have, or stickers for that matter, just look at them and look at the designs that can be created by what's there and what isn't there as well. So I hope that helps. I thank you again. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. I will have links in the descriptions for you to look at. Enjoy your scrapbooking, and I will see you next time. Thank you.